fellas. We're back. The Ravine Rundown. Listen, Dodgers. We're so spoiled that I'm 9,000 feet up. I'm not going to tell you where, but I'm 9,000 feet up in the mountains. Normally, I'm in Oklahoma City. I've got one of my closest best friends, diehard Dodger fan. Actually, did the very first ever Ravine Rundown. Izzy Metz is there, and you can see he's camped away in his secluded office. He is. I'm going to give him some shout outs because you never know. There could be some D3 basketball guys out there. Izzy Metz is one of the top Division III head basketball coaches out there. He's got Division I college basketball assistant experience. He's been at Cornell, Boston College. He's now the head coach at Wilkes. He's from Los Angeles, as I am. We're just in little different parts of LA. He's in the Valley. I was from more like towards Orange County, but Izzy, it's great to have you back on the show. You are so passionate about the Dodgers, and this is going to be a fun show because normally it's just my brother and I agreeing with each other. Now we're going to get you giving some takes that are not normal for our show. So Izzy, welcome, and Dodgers, right? Like best team in baseball, right?
Mark, thanks for having me back, dude. I was fired up when you asked me to come back on the show. I watch every episode, and it's been a blast. Dodgers are the best team in baseball, but as we watch them every night, and I know it's baseball. You can't be perfect every game. You're not going to win every one, but I think that there's a lot of room for improvement. I think with the current roster, and hopefully, we'll get into it. There's some moves to be made that can really improve the roster. Let's get ready for October, right?
Yeah, and I hope I'm not mistaken, but we're coming right on after a very, very popular show, Cubs Confidential, and I accidentally jumped in and invaded their show, and we let them know about the Dodgers, how we're the best team in baseball. But you were taking your family to go see the Cubbies play the Dodgers, right?
That is correct. I'm excited. I've never been to Wrigley Field, nor have my kids or my wife. So we're going Monday to Wrigley Field to see our Dodgers. Yeah, looking forward to a great game, obviously, and just to take in, all kidding aside, being a Dodger fan, Wrigley Field's like a bucket list place for somebody like myself, and I think anybody that's a baseball fan. It's right up there with Fenway, with the history and just the unique atmosphere, Wrigleyville. So we're going to take it all in, Mark. Like I'm fired up. I'm fired up for my kids to experience that, and we're sitting right behind the Dodger dugout, like 8 rows, 10 rows behind the Dodger dugout. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean we'll get into our topics, but for Dodger fans, you've been to Yankee Stadium, you've taken your kids to Dodger Stadium. I think I mean I might be wrong. You've taken them to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh,
Yep.
all to see the Dodgers. Now, and what I love about it is you're bringing your kids up the right way as Dodger fans, as they should be. As my daughter Jacinda is a big time Dodger fan, so that's a big time get. That's a big time for your kids. They're being brought up the right way. Okay, let's get into it. Um, the pitching rotation of the Dodgers? It has the capabilities of being like the best staff ever, right? I mean, you could talk about Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Otani. Um, what are your thoughts right now? Like, Robo didn't have a good outing last night, but that's like that was like a one of whatever. Like Robo was an all-star. The only thing I'll jump really quick before I let you really get into it. Robo doesn't concern me. The only thing that concerns me is now he's throwing more innings than he's ever thrown. I want to say last night was just kind of one of those nights. Seattle's a good baseball team, but pitching rotation, perfect world, worst case scenario. Where are you with the pitching rotation right now with the Dodgers?
So I look at this like two-pronged. I look at it right now, regular season, and where are we going to be in the postseason? Right now, we're doing the best we can with what we have available, right, Mark? Like, I mean, the guys that are healthy are going out there and they're doing the best they can. We talked about Robo last night. I mean, he's been great. He's been awesome all year long. I love Robo. You and I talk about him. Huge fan. I love the way the dude goes out and competes. He gives you innings. He goes right at guys. Having played baseball myself, I just know that the guys behind you in the field love playing behind a pitcher that throws a ton of strikes, doesn't walk guys, and goes after hitters. The danger of that is what you saw last night. Robo didn't locate his fastball, was in the zone in Seattle. Let's be honest, they tattooed him. And that's happened a couple times to him this year, but by and large, he's been really good and he gets deep into games. So right now, where we're at, right? Ohtani's not pitching. Don't know if he's coming back anytime soon. We'll see. You've got Sheehan, kind of like Robo, is a guy that can eat up some innings. He hasn't been quite as good. I like Sheehan, but the thing that's frustrated me with Sheehan is I think his stuff's pretty good. I think he gets behind into too many 1-0, 2-0 counts, and then tries to fight back, and he gets to like 5 innings and they got to yank him. And then he'll have 3 or 4 pitches that he would like to have back that guys do damage with. So is he a guy that you can necessarily rely on in October? I don't think so, personally. Yama's the stud. Yama goes deep in every game. He's one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball. We love him. We know what he's going to do. Eric Lauer's been a godsend, but he's not going to be a guy that they're going to rely on in the postseason. But he's a guy right now to eat up some innings. So Snell's coming back. I mean, Mark, you're in OKC, like you know what's going on. He's coming back soon. It sounds like Glasnow is starting to progress and he's starting to ramp it up. We anticipate he's going to be back. So right now we got Yama, Snell, Glasnow. I think is 3 definites in the rotation, and then I think we're going to have to make a move to get that 4th guy.
Okay, let me throw a name out to you. I'm older. I've got to put my glasses on. Here we go. We haven't talked about Sasaki.
True.
3 games. Here's his last 3 games. A 1.93 RA, 19 Ks, 18 innings, 4 walks, 19. Yeah. You talked about Robo, 3.26 ERA, 23 Ks, 19 innings, 3 walks. Roki is a guy. I could see Roki still staying in that starting rotation. I like the way he's pitched the last 3 games. Robo had 1 bad outing. Now, you listen to, again, I always say this, listen to the Dodgers broadcast. They give you stuff that if you really listen, they give you inside information, but you have to really listen close. They said something last night. Robo could be a elite bullpen arm in the playoffs. Totally agree with that. In a perfect world, you got Yamo, Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani, right? That's a perfect world. Perfect world. And then you could throw in a Robo, Sasaki, right? You could throw in those guys. Lauer, I don't know what they're going to do with Lauer. That one's interesting to me because Lauer has done what he's supposed to do. He was picked up as a DFA, like he was a castaway. And again, like Dodgers always do this, they pick up these guys. What happens, and we're going to get to this as our last option here. I'm going to be real clear. I don't see the Dodgers getting Skubal, but you can argue against that. Let's say the Dodgers don't get Skubal, and this is the rotation that they have in a perfect world, and they're all healthy, and the Dodgers do what the Dodgers always do. They wait till the last second. They slow play these guys. They get them healthy. They get them ready for the playoffs. That's a very formidable, very tough rotation. And I don't think you can argue Yamo, Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani. I don't think you could ever argue that in a 7-game series, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, those guys are fantastic when healthy, right? Like, and that's the thing we don't know. Really, with Ohtani, like I feel more confident with Snell and Glasnow coming back than I do right now with Ohtani, just because everything you read and hear Doc talk about, it's like that knee's not getting better pitching. So if that knee's not getting better pitching, we need him in the lineup. We need him to hit. We need him to be at the top of the lineup right there. I feel as a fan, as somebody who looks at the team, we can win a World Series with Ohtani in the lineup and him not pitching. I do. But I think, they're gonna see how long this goes and what we need to do to get him right so that he can potentially pitch in October. Because I know he wants to. And let's be honest, if Ohtani wants to do something, he's gonna get that opportunity to do it for sure.
Yeah. So as we go into the next segment, Alex Friedman, AF, today said they could see Ohtani pitching again this year. They said what the problem is, he's overcompensating for the knee. So to hear Alex Friedman say that again, Dodgers, you got to really read with the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers are like the most interesting thing to follow social media, news reports. you got to really listen, like you said, to Doc and Alex Friedman. Otani's going to do what Otani wants to do. If Otani wants to pitch late in the season, Otani's going to pitch late in the season. And I don't think there's anything Doc could do about that. I don't care. Otani's going
Yep.
to figure out the knee later in the offseason, right?
Right.
So the Dodgers rotation, in a perfect world, no one's going to, that's the best rotation in baseball. And that's not even if we get Scooble. So let's move on to the next subject, because this is a subject that really, really gets you fired up. And I think it's gotten you fired up since he's come off the injured list. You and my brother, we have a great group chat. The one thing about our group chat is we love the Dodgers. You are a typical Dodger fan from Pico Rivera, East LA. You know everything. Let's talk about Mookie Betts. So let me, before you give the Izzy Mets Mookie Betts stuff, Mookie Betts. I did a lot of research on Mookie today because I was really fired up because I knew you were going to get after it. Mookie Betts is one of the top guys in controlling the strike zone. He plays elite defense. He rarely strikes out. He is a top 10% in all of baseball in terms of defense. In terms of the StatCast, expected batting average is 270. He has one of the worst. He has one of the poor batted ball, like unlucky guys in baseball. So he is projected to hit 270 if not for that. Right now, he's got 13 homers in 70 games. He is projected to be mid-upper 20 plus home runs this year. Now, last 10 games, 7th for 38 is 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, 7 Ks. He's hitting 189 with runners in scoring position. He doesn't hit left-handed batting at all. 197. He hits right-handed batting, 263. He is an elite. I'm going to say it. Fangraphs, StatCast, he's an elite shortstop. I don't understand any of these social media people saying, let's move him to the outfield. That doesn't make any sense to me. You are very passionate about this subject. Mookie Betts. I'm going to let you, if you want, we've got like 15 minutes left on this. I'm going to let you, I'll stop you when I need to. Talk to me about Mookie Betts. I gave you some interesting numbers.
Good.
Where are you with Mookie?
I love Mookie Betts, and I'm glad he's a Dodger, and he's going to retire as a Dodger. So it starts there. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's a winner. I've always believed that. My biggest thing with Mookie now, as he's getting older, it's less about the fielding. I love him at shortstop. He's been terrific at shortstop. And yeah, anybody that thinks he needs to go back to the outfield's crazy. Yeah. He is the Dodger shortstop. At the plate, I gauge it, and you're giving a lot of projections, Mark, and if they all come true, it's going to look really good, because it's baseball. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, right? Where I look at Mookie, where he's coming up short during the season so far, is there's a lot of at bats that I watch, and I'm looking at it more as a baseball coach, a baseball player, where I feel instead of trying to hit a home run, which I understand is a big part of modern baseball, I would like to see him try to hit into a gap, up the middle, keep that line moving, right? Because I think he has it in him to do it. Where I think he has lost a step as he's gotten along in his career, and he's not a young guy anymore, is he doesn't have the power that he used to. And I just judge it by, I watch a lot of his flyouts, and then his home runs barely clear the fence. He's not, when Mookie Betts was younger, like we all were better when we were younger, Mark. He kind of like, it's like a row or two over at Dodger Stadium. Back when he was much younger, he was putting that thing halfway up, all right, into the pavilion, right? And, he did that in Boston, and that's just who Mookie Betts was. So I don't think he's got quite the pop that he used to have. His speed on the base paths is not what it used to be. He hits a lot of double plays for a guy that I think is a tremendous athlete. I'm actually like surprised on like plays where I'm like, he should beat that out, and he gets thrown out there. And it could be maybe he's pacing himself and he doesn't want to get injured. I get it. He's earned that right to do it. But I think I told you early in the year, I don't think he deserves, while he is Mookie Betts and he's entitled to a lot that comes with it, I don't think he deserves to be the number 2 hitter on the Dodgers. And I know he's not. I know Doc's got him at 4 and 5,
Yeah.
and he's moved him around the lineup. I just think at this point in his career, he's more of a middle half guy. I don't think you're leaning on him, and that's the beauty of the Dodgers. You don't need to rely
So
on Mookie to be the guy,
I'm
right?
going to call you out. You want him batting eighth, right?
I at one point when he was really struggling, I was like, and other guys were hitting well, I was like, well, if he's not going to produce, you got to move him down. But I also understand realistically, you're not going to do that to Mookie Betts. So
Yeah.
I do, like, the fan in me is like, listen, move these other guys up that are hitting. But right now, let's be honest, Tucker's not hitting well enough. I don't think Paz should be in the 2 spot. Freddie's been really hitting well. Otani's Otani. He's had a good year. All right. Will Smith is not in the lineup, so we can't rely on him right now. And there's a lot. I actually think Edmund should be second, personally.
Yeah, on a positive note, good stuff came out today about Will Smith that he's pain free. He's back to doing baseball activities. Yeah, he's on the 60 day. And again, I think this is one of those Dodger special, IL things. Will be back ready for the playoffs. But anyways, we're talking about Mookie. I'm not saying I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum of you. What I would like to see, and you kind of touched on it, I would like to see Mookie hit a lot more line drives. He controls the strike zone. He is one of the best in baseball and not striking out. Um, I don't know where he should hit in the order. The second spot in the Dodgers batting order has been a absolute disaster all year. You talked about Edmund. Doc was talking about Edmund is great in the ninth hole because then if Otani follows.
Right.
So yeah, that's an interesting spot for the Dodgers right now. Again, 13 home runs in 70 games. He is projected. I know these are projections, but mid upper 20 home runs. He's an elite defender, top 10 defensively, shortstop and fielding run value. He is considered great. So we have an elite shortstop. Yes, I would like to see him hit better. Like we joke around a lot about Mookie Betts in our private group chat, but yeah, we all want to see Mookie hit better. So I love what you say. We've got about 8 to 9 minutes left. Let's get into a topic that it's just blowing up right now on social media. This Scooble stuff. Our producer Jay put, "Will Scooble land in La La Land?" Before you comment, I have heard it's either the Brewers or the Yankees, and the Dodgers are not going to go after this elite guy for a rental. I am lucky enough. I work with some people that I get to hear a lot of information about, inside information about the Dodgers. I have changed my tune on Dodger prospects, and I've been very vocal today on social media, challenging a lot of people out there that have responded on our Twitter account on Ravine Rundown. I don't think any prospect right now is untouchable. And is you, me, my brother, and we are so into the Dodger prospects and Jose DePaula and Zaire Hope and Tibbs and Soroka, all these guys. But I don't see any of those guys being untouchable. If the Dodgers want to make a move, they're going to make a move, right? First off, let me get your opinion on Scooble. Do you think the Dodgers should go after him? And then I'm going to throw out some names. I did a lot of research on names that are being thrown out. So first off, should the Dodgers go get Scooble, and should they give up the house for him?
I think it comes back to the first topic we were talking about, which was the Dodger rotation and just the unknown if Otani is going to be available to be Otani on the mound. Because if he's not going to be really good, then I would rather see him just hit. And I obviously don't want to see him struggle at the plate because of a knee injury, or they're talking about the bicep injury now. So, like I said earlier, I think the definites come October are Yama, Snell, Glasnow. I think our bullpen gets really, really good if you can throw Sasaki and Robleski in there as long relief guys, as spot relief guys, whatever you want to call them. But can you win the World Series with 3 starters? Yes, you can, because the Dodgers proved that when they won it 2 years ago. Yep. So all I'm getting to is the Scooble makes sense. I say yes for 2 reasons. If you can get the best pitcher available, that's going to bolster your staff, and you're the team, you're the Dodgers, and you have the resources to trade, I say yes. And I also believe you have as good a chance to land them in free agency as anybody else. If he likes the organization, which let's be honest, Mark, why would you not like the Dodgers once you
Yep.
start playing for them? You're having a
Yep.
chance to compete for a world championship. All right. So I think we can get him long term. The other thing is, I don't want to see him in Milwaukee. I'd be terrified to see him in Milwaukee in a National League Championship Series. And now you got to go against Skubal,
And the Miz.
Mizrahi, right? And another good. I think they want Peralta, like who he could be really good for them as well.
Yeah, is like the Peralta thing. I was listening on my drive to where we're at. I was listening to the New York Mets broadcast, and they are convinced that Peralta is going back to Milwaukee. They are convinced of that. I don't know if that'll happen.
Right.
I think the Dodgers, just from what I have heard, the Dodgers will make a move on Skubal if a team that they don't want to have get him is going to get him. And I think you mentioned that's the Brewers. I don't think the Dodgers care if the Yankees get him. I don't think I don't see the Cubs. I don't see those type of teams going after him. I don't think the Cubs have enough in their system to go for a Skubal. So with that being said, Zaire Hope, Jose DePaula, Serrata, Emil Morales, Emmett Sheehan, Robo, those are all names that are going to be thrown around that are going to be that Skubal will draw attention to. I always go to the fact that the Tigers are still in it. Like, why do the Tigers want to give up Skubal at this point? I think it's just the Dodgers' fascination with there's this big name guy out there, right? I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit here. I don't see the Dodgers. I would love if the Dodgers get Skubal, great. I just don't see it happening. Here's what I'm going to talk about, though. Do the Dodgers need more than that? Do they need bullpen help? And you brought up a cool point. Robo and Sasaki could go to the bullpen. Now, I've read some articles. There's the guy with Baltimore right now, Rico Garcia. He's got 41 appearances. He's a 32-year-old that he's had a phenomenal year. He's a 2.37 ERA. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly his ERA. And then you've got Aroldis Chapman out there who you could rent, who's got 19 saves. You could get a Garcia and not give up the farm for a guy like Garcia. Chapman might require a little bit more. Do the Dodgers need bullpen help? Is that something? Because I think Dodgers are going to go after bullpen depth more than they're going to go after an elite starter. Am I wrong on that?
No, I mean, we watch the Dodgers every night. When their bullpen is on and looking good, they're great, but they've had some clunkers in the last month or so. I mean, I text you all the time, like Will Klein. I'll always be grateful to that guy for last year, what he did in Game 3, forever. But let's be honest, he hasn't been great this year. It's been a very disjointed year.
Yeah.
He walks a lot of guys. Jack Dreyer, same thing, very inconsistent. Treinen's been hurt. Henriquez throws gas. He's going to be good. I think he's got a future with the Dodgers, but he's inconsistent. Do we trust him in the postseason? Right? Vesia, love his makeup, competitor, but he's been getting hit recently a little bit. And when he doesn't locate, his stuff's not good enough to just put it right over the plate. So if you really dig deep in the Dodger bullpen, they need help. I think getting Diaz activated today obviously helps a lot. Right? That's huge. Tanner Scott's been a stud this year. This is the Tanner Scott we bought and paid for 2 years ago, right? Sasaki was a stud in the pen. So could he do that again? I do believe he could. I think Robo's a dog coming out of the pen if we want him. I even think Sheehan could give you, if you needed an inning, Sheehan could get it up there to the high 90s for sure. So, like, getting one more arm, why not?
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. And I want something. I'm not going to say, just my sources say nobody is untouchable in terms of when it comes down to our prospects. No one is untouchable. I've learned that a commodity that is a known commodity that has numbers behind them is so much more valuable than a unknown commodity. Baseball America did a thing, and I put it out on social media a little bit. 6.3% of all high end prospects, it's something like the WAR, like above a 5-point WAR, 6.3% make it. Like, I know we're all fascinated with Jose De Paula and Serrata and Zaire Hope and Emil Morales. I mean, our farm system, like you could talk about, like we could go on a whole nother podcast and talk about the hatred towards the Dodgers and all the money they spend. But the Dodgers farm system is loaded. No one is untouchable. Like Tibbs is not untouchable. Here's what I would like to see. I would love to see Ryan Ward be traded away for a quality starter, so Ryan Ward could get the chance to play. I mean, I'm around the Oklahoma City Comets. I do the pitch clock. I'm friends with a lot of the people within the Oklahoma City Comets. Everybody loves Ryan Ward, and everybody would love to see Ryan Ward get a chance. It's like the Miguel Vargas. Miguel Vargas was loved in Oklahoma City, and he became an all-star. I would love to see that happen with Ryan Ward. Um, so, do I think we're going to get Scooble? Me personally, no. Would I love to see it happen and me be wrong? Yes. I think what you touched on, great, because why I love having you on is because you give the real truth and honesty. Emmett Sheehan, Roki, Robo, those guys coming out of the pen. I don't think there's anybody in baseball that could have what those guys are coming out of the pen. So a guy like Chapman or a Rico Garcia are fun guys to talk about because I don't think you have to give up a ton. Edwin Diaz coming back, like that would be incredible. Like if Edwin Diaz could come back and finish off the year like we think he can with a Evan Phillips, a Vesia, Roki, Robo, like come on now. Like Dodgers, we could talk about the Mookie forever and Kyle Tucker not hitting, but like pitching is what wins, right? Pitching and defense, and the Dodgers have that, and they have it in abundance. So we're going to end on that. Is give me your thoughts. We've got Seattle, we've got Boston. You're going to go see the Dodgers play the Cubbies. It was a tough stretch having to go to, which doesn't make sense with Major League Baseball going to play New York, Philly, and then going to play the Mets, and then fly all the way across the country, one day off and play Seattle, and then you get Boston. Talk to me. Give me your final thoughts as we go into the next couple weeks here about the Dodgers.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at their schedule, Mark. So yeah, talking about those upcoming games, and then September is really favorable for the Dodgers. I think they play like 15 home games, and really have gotten a lot of the divisional games kind of out of the way. I mean, I think they have another series with the Diamondbacks coming up and the Giants, but I think are they done with the Padres? I believe, right? Or maybe have like one more home series,
Yeah.
but I think they're
Yeah.
done. So I think September shapes up really nicely for them to kind of get healthy, start to think about setting that rotation for the postseason right there. Like I said, I think it sets up nicely. And just to kind of piggyback on the pitching staff, as we saw the bullpen in last year, Yama came out of the bullpen to help us win a game 7, right? Snell did the same thing. It's all hands on deck. So, the traditional regular season bullpen goes out the window. Starters become relievers become, godsends, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And you've talked about Doc's the best manager in the game. Him and his staff really do a great job in the postseason of figuring out the bullpen better than anybody else. So I'm very confident of that. So I'm excited. I think this is a great week for them. Hey, let's get 2 or 3 against Seattle. Let's get at least 2 or 3 at home against Boston, who's a good team and playing well. Can we go to Chicago, stay hot on the road? We've been the best road team in baseball.
Yep.
So let's continue to do that. All right. And let's head into September feeling good about ourselves.
Yeah, I think is spot on. I mean, that's why I love it. That's why I love talking baseball with you. You're spot on. I hope people understand. Me, you, my brother, we would talk Dodger baseball if they were the worst team in baseball, and we would still be passionate about it. We grew up Dodger fans. We grew up going to Dodger Stadium. We might not live in L.A. My brother lives in Orange County. He's not L.A. But we grew up being Dodger fans. We grew up through good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm excited about the rest of the season. I think sometimes Dodger fans, you included, want the Dodgers to never lose a game, and that's just not possible in baseball. It's a different sport than NBA and college football. It's just different. But I'll say this: I hope the Dodgers finish strong. I mean, I hope all this stuff gets back to being healthy. The Dodgers maintain their healthy. It's going to be exciting to see what happens in the trade deadline. The Dodgers are a special team. Alex Friedman, and they you could talk about the money we spend. Yeah, we spend a lot of money, but we also do the best in terms of our scouting. Dodgers, people love playing for the Dodgers. Everybody wants to be a Dodger. I know we just followed the Cubs Confidential, and Cubs are having a great year, but they're not the Dodgers. Let's just be honest. They're not the Dodgers. Okay. Sorry, Jay, and all you guys out there, and you sideline sports guys. I know you guys are all big Cubbies guys, but you're not the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the back to back world champions, and we're doing something that has not been seen. And I don't care what they want to say about the new salary cap and all this stuff and the strike that's coming up. You know what? The Dodgers will figure out a way to beat that because everybody wants to be part of our culture and what we have. And that's something to be said. I think everybody wants to talk about the money being spent, but everybody wants to be part of the Dodgers culture. And you don't hear that about, oh, I want to be a part of the Braves culture, the Tigers culture, or the Red Sox. You hear, I want to be part of the Dodgers culture. And I think that's something to be said. So, anyways, it was great to have you on. You're in New York. I'm in 9,000 feet up in God's country up here. It didn't rain on me like it rains in the mountains all the time. My brother's taking his son out to Dave and Buster's. We got the Dodgers Mariners coming on. Appreciate you again. You're one of the top coaches in college basketball. So anybody randomly listening has a son out there that's a D3 basketball player, he's the guy you want to play for. We appreciate everything, Jay. We appreciate you being our producer tonight. Thanks for coming on. And as always, freaking let's go Dodgers.
Let's go Dodgers.